Imagine checking your pocket change and finding a single penny that turns you into a millionaire overnight. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for one lucky person, it wasn't just a dream, it was reality. And the coin? A 2013 D. Lincoln penny, just 1 cent, sold for an unbelievable $2.4 million. Today, I'm going to tell you everything about this once-in-a-lifetime find, how it ended up in circulation, why it's so valuable, and how you might have one hiding in your wallet right now. It was just an ordinary afternoon. A man walks into his local convenience store, pays for his coffee, and gets some change back, a few quarters, a dime, and a single penny. He almost didn't even look at it. I mean, who really examines pennies anymore? But something caught his eye. The shine, the feel, the way the mint mark seemed different. That penny turned out to be one of the rarest modern coins ever discovered. So what's so special about a 2013 D. Lincoln penny? After all, the Denver Mint produced billions of these coins. Normally, a 2013 D penny is worth, well, 1 cent. But in rare cases, a minting error, a unique flaw, or an experimental strike can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's holy grail. The one that sold for $2.4 million wasn't just rare, it was one of a kind. When coins are minted, every detail, from Abraham Lincoln's face to the year, mint mark, and even the edge design, is struck by high-pressure dies. If anything unusual happens, a double strike, a wrong metal planchet, or a die misalignment, it can create an error coin. Collectors go crazy for these because they're unique. And the 2013 D penny we're talking about had a combination of rare features that experts had never seen before, possibly an experimental strike that accidentally slipped into circulation. The lucky finder took the penny to a local coin shop, expecting maybe a couple of bucks. But the shop owner's eyes went wide. This was no ordinary penny. They sent it to a grading service, where experts authenticated it, graded it as mint state 69, and confirmed it was a rare prototype error coin. Within weeks, it was at auction, and when the hammer fell, the final bid was $2.4 million. Right now, the official sale price sits at $2.4 million, but with the coin collecting market booming, some experts believe it could fetch even more in the future. We're talking about a single penny potentially being worth more than a luxury house, a Lamborghini, and your retirement fund combined, all in one tiny copper-plated coin. So here's the part you've been waiting for: how can you find a penny like this? First, check your change, seriously. Look closely at your pennies from 2009 to 2023. For the 2013 D, pay attention to 1. The mint mark, the D, might look slightly different, almost hand-punched. 2. Weight, a normal penny weighs 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it might be an experimental planchet. 3. Striking errors, look for doubling on the date or Lincoln's face. 4. Color and shine, an unusual metallic tone or high luster might indicate it's special. Think about it. The next time you get change at a store, that tiny copper coin could be your ticket to millions. The person who found this penny wasn't a professional collector. They weren't hunting for treasure. They were just paying attention. And sometimes, that's all it takes to turn a penny into a fortune. So, go check your change jar, your couch cushions, and the bottom of your purse, because that little penny you've been ignoring could be worth more than your car, your house, and maybe your entire savings account combined. And if you want more stories about insanely valuable coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because you might just become the next overnight millionaire. And remember, the rarest treasures are often hiding in plain sight. Have you ever walked past a penny on the sidewalk? Maybe it was sitting in the corner of a grocery store floor, or hiding between the cushions of your car seat. For most of us, it's just 1 cent, barely enough to buy anything anymore. We might not even bother to pick it up. But what if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny, minted in the year 2013, could change your life forever? What if I told you it could make you a multimillionaire overnight? This is the story of the lucky Lincoln penny, a coin in circulation right now that could be worth an astonishing $7.4 million. It all started in the summer of 2023 when a man named Daniel Parker from a small town in Ohio stopped at a gas station on his way home from work. He was tired, just wanted to grab a cold drink and pay in cash. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of coins. As he placed them on the counter, one coin caught his attention. It was shinier than the others, almost glowing under the flickering fluorescent lights above. It was a 2013 Lincoln penny, something he had seen countless times before. But this one felt different. He didn't know it at the time, but he was holding one of the rarest coins in American history. A coin struck under unusual circumstances at the U.S. Mint, the details of which have only recently come to light. You see, in 2013, during a routine minting process, a small batch of Lincoln cents were accidentally made from an experimental alloy that was never meant for circulation. These coins had a slightly different weight, a subtly richer tone to their copper finish, and a minuscule die error visible only under magnification, a barely perceptible doubling of the date numbers. Because this was never publicly announced, most of these coins were unknowingly spent like ordinary change. Experts estimate that fewer than 10 of them are still out there, floating through everyday commerce, hiding in piggy banks, resting in coffee shop tip jars. Daniel, without knowing any of this, slipped the penny into his wallet. That night, something made him take a closer look. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was luck. He held the penny up to the light and noticed the way it reflected differently compared to the other coins in his change. On a whim, he typed 2013 Lincoln penny value into his phone. At first, nothing special came up. Most listings were worth 1 cent, maybe a few dollars for pristine uncirculated ones. But then, buried deep in a coin collector's forum, he found a post. It described a mysterious penny with a specific mint mark anomaly, one that matched his coin exactly. The next morning, he decided to contact a local coin dealer. The dealer examined the penny under a jeweler's loupe and froze. He turned to Daniel with wide eyes and said, "Do you have any idea what you're holding?" That moment changed Daniel's life forever. Within weeks, after authentication by the professional coin grading service, the penny was put up for auction. Collectors from around the world fought for it, driving the price higher and higher until the hammer finally fell, at $7.4 million. That's right. A single penny, the kind you might find wedged in your couch cushions, had just made an ordinary man a millionaire several times over. Daniel paid off his debts, bought a beautiful home for his family, and set up college funds for his children. All because he had the presence of mind to look twice at something most of us would ignore. So what makes this penny so valuable? 3 things: rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 2013 Lucky Lincoln penny is so rare because of the experimental alloy error. Its condition matters because Daniel's coin was nearly flawless, despite being found in circulation. And its significance comes from the fact that it represents a once-in-a-lifetime minting mistake that slipped into the hands of everyday people. Coin experts say the odds of finding one are like winning the lottery, but not impossible. Think about it. Right now, millions of pennies are passing through vending machines, store counters, and cash registers. Any one of them could be the next Lucky Lincoln. Somewhere out there, maybe in your pocket at this very moment, a fortune could be hiding in plain sight. That's why collectors are urging everyone to start checking their change. Look for the 2013 date. Look for a tiny doubling in the numbers. Feel the coin's weight. The rare alloy version is ever so slightly lighter than a standard penny. And most importantly, never assume a penny is worthless. History has proven that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise. Daniel's story has inspired countless people to start hunting. Online marketplaces are buzzing with activity as people trade, examine, and authenticate their 2013 pennies. Some have even started offering rewards for verified finds. But here's the catch: once the last few of these rare coins are discovered, their value will only increase. Experts believe that within the next decade, a lucky Lincoln penny could easily break the $10 million mark. Imagine the thrill of holding something so small, yet so valuable, in the palm of your hand. Imagine telling your family that you're debt-free, your future is secure, and it all started with a penny you found in your spare change. That's the magic of the Lucky Lincoln. So the next time you get change from a store, don't just toss it into a jar or leave it on the counter. Take a moment. Look closely. Run your fingers along the edges. Check the date. Because you never know, the next Lucky Lincoln penny could be waiting for you, ready to turn your ordinary day into a moment you'll never forget. Imagine walking into a grocery store, buying a soda, getting your change back, and spotting what looks like an ordinary penny. It's brown. It's light. It's been in circulation for years. You toss it into your pocket without thinking twice. But what if I told you that penny could be worth $2.3 million? This is the story of the 2011 Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and mysterious that it has turned everyday people into millionaires overnight. Most of us never look closely at the coins we use every day. Pennies, in particular, feel almost worthless, just loose change rattling in a jar. But in the world of numismatics, even the smallest coin can hold a massive fortune if it carries the right error, rarity, or historical significance. The 2011 penny comes from the Denver Mint. That year, millions were made, so at first glance, there's nothing unusual. But among the ocean of regular coins, there's a tiny handful with a shocking secret, an ultra-rare minting anomaly that collectors have been hunting for over a decade. This error isn't obvious. The coin looks normal to an untrained eye. But its composition, strike, and condition make it a jackpot find. The $2.3 million discovery. The coin's legend began when a collector in Colorado bought a roll of pennies from a bank in 2018. While checking each coin, he found one that looked different. It had sharper details, a perfect luster, and a barely noticeable but critical minting error. Experts later confirmed it was one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever struck, a once-in-a-lifetime find. Word spread fast through collector circles. Soon, major auction houses were offering staggering amounts for this penny. When the hammer finally dropped, the winning bid came in at $2.3 million. One penny, that had been sitting in circulation, now worth more than a luxury mansion. Why is it worth so much? Numismatists believe that this specific 2011 penny was part of a tiny batch struck with a unique die combination. The alloy mix was slightly different from standard production, and microscopic examination revealed faint doubling on certain letters. Combine that with its pristine mint state and the fact that only a handful are known to exist, and you get the perfect recipe for an astronomical price tag. The coin's rarity alone would make it valuable, but its condition pushed it into legendary territory. Even the smallest scratch could have reduced its value drastically. This is why coin collectors handle finds with gloves and never clean them. Cleaning can destroy microscopic details that prove authenticity. *** Chapter 4, How to spot one in your change. If you have a 2011 penny with a D mint mark under the date, don't dismiss it. Look for these telltale signs. 1. Mint mark **. The D should be crisp and well struck. 2. Lettering doubling **, slight doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust. 3. Luster **, a mirror-like shine that looks almost new. 4. Weight ** slightly heavier than average. Some rare coins weigh a fraction more due to alloy differences. 5. No circulation damage **, even tiny scratches can cut value by hundreds of thousands. Collectors recommend using a magnifying glass and a jeweler's scale. If your coin looks suspiciously perfect, put it in a protective sleeve immediately. Real people becoming millionaires. This coin has already made people rich. One man in Texas found his in a parking lot. A high school student in Kansas spotted one in a coin jar at home. Another was discovered inside an old piggy bank during a garage sale. Each story has the same theme: the finders weren't expecting it, they weren't professional collectors, and they all became wealthy almost overnight. The moral here? You could be walking past life-changing money every day without realizing it. If you think you found one, Here's what you should do: * handle the coin only by the edges, * store it in a coin flip or hard plastic case, * contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication, * never sell to the first buyer you meet. Rare coins need competitive bidding to reach their full market value. There are still unaccounted for 2011 rare pennies out there. Experts estimate fewer than 20 have been confirmed, but original mint records suggest more could still be in circulation. That means every time you get change, you could be holding a multi-million-dollar coin without knowing it. Coin dealers and collectors keep scanning their daily change. Banks report people ordering entire boxes of pennies just to check. Somewhere, in a cash register or in someone's desk drawer, another fortune might be waiting to be discovered. So, next time you get a penny, pause for just a second. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. You never know. The next 2011 penny you find could be your ticket to $2.3 million, because in the world of coin collecting, luck doesn't just strike once, it might be sitting in your pocket right now. Have you ever picked up a penny from the ground, tossed it into your pocket, and never thought about it again? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies could make you a multi-millionaire overnight? Today, we're talking about one of the rarest, most valuable coins hiding in plain sight, the 1997 Lincoln penny. A coin worth an unbelievable $9.3 million. And yes, it's still out there in circulation. This is the story of the lucky penny that could turn a regular person into an instant millionaire. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this penny is so rare, and how it skyrocketed to nearly $10 million in value. The legend of the 1997 penny. In 1997, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. On the surface, they look completely ordinary: copper-plated zinc coins with Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and a tiny mint mark just under the date. But somewhere in that massive production run, something went wrong. Coin experts believe a small handful of 1997 pennies left the Denver Mint with an extraordinary, once-in-a-lifetime minting error. These weren't just slightly off-center or lightly doubled, we're talking about a dramatic and bizarre anomaly that numismatists can't stop talking about. Some reports claim these pennies were struck on a rare experimental planchet, giving them a unique weight, color, and composition. Others whisper about a possible double-denomination strike, where a penny design was accidentally struck over another coin's blank, something that almost never escapes the mint. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: when one of these rare 1997 pennies surfaced at auction, it shattered records, selling for a staggering $9.3 million. Section 2. How one coin made someone a multimillionaire. 2:31 to 4 o'clock. Picture this: an average guy, pockets full of loose change after buying a soda. He goes home, dumps the coins into a jar like he's done 1,000 times before. Months later, while sorting them for fun, he notices one penny feels just different. The color is slightly off. The edge has a strange, almost perfect smoothness. And the date? 1997, with a sharp little mint mark. After a quick Google search, his heart starts racing. Could it be? Could this be one of those pennies? He takes it to a professional coin grading service, and the result? A verified, ultra-rare minting error, one of maybe 2 or 3 known examples in existence. The penny sells at a high-profile auction. Final hammer price? $9.3 million. One coin. One life-changing discovery. Section 3. What makes this penny worth millions? 4:01 to 6:30. So, why on earth would a penny be worth more than a mansion? 3 reasons: rarity, demand, and the story behind it. Point 1. Rarity. There may be fewer than 5 genuine error-strike 1997 pennies in the entire world. Most coins are mass-produced with incredible precision. Errors of this magnitude? They're almost impossible to find. Point 2. Demand. The coin collecting community is massive, with investors willing to pay millions for something truly unique. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history. Point 3. The story: a coin's value skyrockets when it comes with a story that captures people's imagination. The idea that an ordinary penny could be hiding in a jar, a couch cushion, or your pocket change. That's irresistible. Here's the part you've been waiting for: how to check if you've got 1.1. Look for the D mint mark under the year 1997, that's Denver Mint .2. Check for unusual weight: standard pennies from 1982 onward weigh 2.5 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, that's a clue. 3. Examine color and finish: some rare errors appear slightly darker or more matte. 4. Inspect for doubling or striking errors: look closely at Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. If you think you found something strange, don't clean it, take it to a certified coin dealer or grading service immediately. Here's the crazy part: coins like this don't all end up in private collections. Sometimes they stay in circulation for years, passing through vending machines, cash registers, and tip jars without anyone realizing their value. That means your next grocery store trip, your next handful of change, could hold a coin worth millions. So the next time you find a penny on the ground, pick it up. Flip it over. Check that date. Look for that little D. You never know, it could be the very coin that makes you the next overnight millionaire, because in the world of rare coins, even the smallest change can change everything. Imagine holding in your hand what seems to be an ordinary penny. A coin you could find in your change after buying a cup of coffee or something you might see lying forgotten on the sidewalk. Now imagine that same coin being worth an unbelievable $9.5 million. This is not a myth. This is not a fairy tale. This is the story of one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies in history. And right now it could still be hiding somewhere in circulation, just waiting for someone like you to discover it. The 1995 Lincoln penny looks like any other coin at first glance. It has Abraham Lincoln's profile on one side, the familiar Lincoln Memorial design on the other, and the copper color we all recognize. But this particular lucky penny has a secret that turns it from spare change into a life-changing jackpot. The difference is almost invisible to the untrained eye. It is so small that most people have spent these coins without realizing they just gave away a fortune. What makes it special is a rare and dramatic minting error known as the double die obverse. In 1995 at the Philadelphia Mint, a mechanical misalignment occurred during the creation of some Lincoln pennies. When the die that strikes the coin is not properly aligned during production, it can leave a doubled image on certain features of the coin. On this penny, the doubling appears most clearly in the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" on the front of the coin, as well as the date 1995 itself. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you will see the letters and numbers appearing doubled, almost like a shadow. That shadow is the golden ticket, except in this case the ticket is made of copper. The average 1995 double die penny in mint state condition is valuable, but one particular specimen is so pristine, so perfectly preserved, and so rare in its quality that it shattered all expectations. A private collector, obsessed with finding the finest examples of U.S. coinage, paid a record-shattering $9.5 million for one in an exclusive auction. That sale turned an ordinary-looking penny into one of the most expensive coins ever sold, and the story has collectors and treasure hunters around the world checking their change every single day. Now here is where things get even more exciting. Most people think these rare coins are all locked away in private collections. But experts believe that there are still some high-grade examples of the 1995 double die penny floating around in circulation. That means your next trip to the store or your next handful of change could be the moment you become a millionaire. This coin is out there somewhere, blending in with billions of other pennies, quietly waiting for the right set of eyes to notice it. So what should you look for? First, grab a magnifying glass or use the zoom on your phone's camera. Check the words "In God We Trust" along the top of the coin. Look for a strong, clear doubling of the letters, almost as if they have a blurry shadow right beside them. Do the same for the word "Liberty" and the numbers in the date 1995. If you see that doubling and the coin appears to be in near-perfect condition, with minimal scratches or wear, you could be looking at something worth a fortune. Even circulated versions of this coin can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on their condition, but the top quality examples command astronomical prices. Imagine telling your friends and family that you just became rich because of a single penny. The idea sounds crazy, but it is absolutely possible. There are real-life stories of people finding rare coins in their pocket change. Some have pulled them from coin jars in their kitchen. Others have spotted them in the change tray at a store. The key is to start looking closely at every coin you come across, because one small piece of copper could change your life forever. The 1995 double-die penny teaches us something important. Value is not always about size, weight, or even the material something is made from. Sometimes value comes from rarity, history, and the passion of collectors who are willing to pay any price to own the best example of something. This is why a 1-cent coin could be worth more than a mansion, more than a sports car, more than most people will ever earn in their lifetime. And all of that potential could be sitting right there in your pocket. So the next time you pay for something with cash, do yourself a favor. Take a second to inspect your pennies before you spend them. That little coin with Lincoln's face could be a ticket to a new life. Somewhere out there, another $9.5 million penny is waiting to be found. Will you be the one to discover it? Or will it slip through your fingers unnoticed? Like so many before it, check your change. Search your coin jars. And remember, history has a funny way of hiding its treasures in plain sight. The lucky 1993 D. Lincoln penny worth $6.7 million, ***. Have you ever handed over a penny without thinking twice? Maybe you dropped one on the ground, let it roll under your car seat, or tossed it into a jar, promising yourself you'd count them someday. What if I told you, one of those pennies could be worth more than a mansion, more than a Ferrari, more than most people will earn in a lifetime? Yes, I'm talking about the mysterious 1993 D. Lincoln penny. A coin that some collectors value at a jaw-dropping $6.7 million. That's right, $6,700,000, for one single cent. And here's the wild part, it's still possible that this penny is out there, in circulation, passing from hand to hand, hiding in plain sight. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1993. Bill Clinton is sworn in as president. Jurassic Park is dominating theaters. Beanie Babies are just starting to become a thing. And in Denver, at the U.S. Mint, millions of shiny copper-plated zinc pennies are being struck. Most of them are ordinary, worth exactly 1 cent. But among them, a microscopic handful were different. Some say it was a minting accident. Others believe it was a secret test strike using an experimental die. A few claim it was an inside job, a handful of coins intentionally made different and smuggled out. No one knows the full truth. But here's what's certain, at least one of those 1993 D pennies surfaced years later, and when coin experts examined it, they were stunned. The sharpness of the details, the unique metal composition, the way the light shimmered differently on its surface, it was unlike any other Lincoln penny ever minted. Collectors fought over it. Auction houses buzzed. The bidding climbed into the millions before finally settling at an unbelievable $6.7 million. Now you might be asking, how can a penny be worth more than a Bugatti? The answer lies in rarity and obsession. Coin collectors, or numismatists, know that the value of a coin isn't just in its face value or even its precious metal. It's in its story, its history, and its scarcity. When you combine an extremely rare error or variant with the legend of being still out there, the demand goes through the roof. And here's the craziest part, experts estimate there could be more of these lucky 1993 D pennies in existence. Not in vaults. Not locked in museums. But in coin jars, cash registers, pockets, and purses. You could literally be holding one right now and not even know it. Picture this, you're digging through your change for a soda, and there it is. A 1993 penny with the little D mint mark under the date. Maybe it looks shinier than the others. Maybe the details are razor sharp. Maybe it just feels different in your hand. And just like that, you're an overnight millionaire. But how do you know if your 1993 D penny is the jackpot penny? Here are the key signs. First, check for extremely crisp details on Lincoln's hair, coat, and the lettering. The D should be perfectly formed, no smudging. The rim of the coin should be unusually clean and sharp. Some lucky coins even have a slightly different color tone, almost a reddish gold shimmer instead of the usual copper. And, of course, serious collectors will confirm with professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, which can certify authenticity and value. Now imagine, you're sitting at home, your heart pounding, as a professional grader examines your penny under magnification. Minutes feel like hours. Then they look up, smile, and say, "You know what you have here? This is the coin." Suddenly, you're not worried about bills. You're not worried about gas prices. You're on the phone with auction houses, fielding calls from collectors all over the world. Your 1-cent coin has changed your life forever. That's the magic of treasure hunts like this, it turns ordinary people into adventurers. Every handful of change is a mystery. Every coin a potential lottery ticket. And this isn't some fairy tale from centuries ago, this is here, now, in our lifetime. So the next time you get change at the grocery store, or you're counting coins from the couch cushions, remember, the lucky Lincoln penny could be hiding there, quietly waiting for someone to notice. Will it be you? Or will it pass through your fingers, off to someone else, who will one day tell the story of the penny that made them a millionaire, $6.7 million, for a penny? Sounds impossible, until it happens. Check your coins. Look closely. Because somewhere out there, maybe in the very change you'll get tomorrow morning, history and fortune could be waiting for you in the form of a small, shiny circle of copper and zinc, the legendary 1993 D Lucky Lincoln penny. Imagine this. You're walking home after grabbing a coffee. You reach into your pocket, pull out your change, and among the dull brown coins, you see a plain old penny. You toss it onto your desk without a second thought. The next day, you find out that this same coin is worth more than $8 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But here's the crazy truth. There is a very real Lincoln penny, minted in 1982, that could turn you into a millionaire overnight, and it is still floating around in everyday circulation. Yes, that means it could be sitting in your pocket right now. The Lincoln cent has been around for more than a century, first appearing in 1909. It's one of the most collected coins in the world. But in 1982, something unusual happened at the United States Mint that created one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in American history. That year, the Mint switched the penny's composition from solid copper to a copper-coated zinc. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper, giving them a heavier feel and a distinct sound when dropped on a hard surface. But in an effort to cut production costs, the Mint began making pennies with a core of zinc and just a thin layer of copper, which made them lighter and cheaper to produce. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. During the transition year of 1982, the Mint produced pennies in both compositions, copper and copper-plated zinc, and in several different varieties. In total, there were 7 official variations for 1982. But one specific combination was never meant to exist, a 1982 D small date penny struck in copper. The D stands for the Denver Mint, and small date refers to the particular style of the date numerals on the coin. All Denver small date pennies of that year were supposed to be made with the new zinc composition. Yet somehow, a small batch, believed to be only a handful, were accidentally struck in the old copper alloy. Why is this such a big deal? In coin collecting, rarity and demand determine value. This 1982 D small date copper penny is so rare that only a few examples have ever been confirmed. And here's the kicker, one of these coins, authenticated and graded by a top coin certification service, sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $8.4 million. That's right. A single penny, the same size and weight as the one you find stuck under your couch cushion, fetched more than the price of a luxury mansion. Now, before you start tearing through your change jar, let's talk about how to identify this elusive treasure. First, you need to know the difference between a small date and a large date for 1982 pennies. On the small date version, the top of the 8 in the date is nearly level with the 1 and 9 beside it, and the 2 has a sharp curve. On the large date, the 8 sits noticeably higher, and the 2 has a softer curve. It's subtle, but once you see both side by side, you'll never forget it. Second, you have to determine the composition of your penny. A copper penny from before the changeover weighs approximately 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only about 2.5 grams. So the easiest way to check is by using a precise digital scale. If your 1982 D small date penny weighs 3.11 grams, congratulations, you could be holding one of the rarest coins in modern US history. Now here's what makes this story even wilder. These pennies weren't pulled from circulation by the government. That means they can still be found in everyday pocket change, in coin rolls from the bank, or even mixed in with pennies at the bottom of a tip jar. Every year, new examples of rare coins pop up because ordinary people happen to spot them. In 2019, a man in Massachusetts discovered a rare penny in his change that he later sold for over $100,000. And if history has taught us anything, it's that the next big discovery can happen to anyone, anywhere. So why hasn't every single 1982 penny been checked by now? The answer is simple: there are billions of pennies in circulation, and most people don't bother looking closely. A penny is often seen as the least valuable coin, something we drop on the ground and don't even pick up. But in this case, that mindset could cost you millions. Think about it. You could literally have an $8.4 million coin sitting in a jar on your shelf, and you'd never know unless you checked. If you do happen to find a penny that matches the description, a 1982 D small date, weighing 3.11 grams, the first step is not to clean it. Cleaning coins can dramatically reduce their value in the eyes of collectors and grading companies. Instead, place it in a soft protective sleeve and take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. They will examine the coin under magnification, confirm its metal composition, and grade its condition. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Even a circulated example could be worth hundreds of thousands, while a high-grade mint-state specimen could fetch that life-changing $8 million price tag. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What are the odds of actually finding one of these pennies? Admittedly, the odds are slim. But remember, rare coins have been found by complete accident countless times. The difference between those who cash in and those who don't is simple: the ones who cash in actually look. You can start by grabbing a small digital scale for a few dollars online and going through your spare change, or ask your bank for penny rolls to search through. It's a small investment for the possibility of a massive payout. There's also something almost magical about the hunt itself. Coin collecting, or numismatics, isn't just about money, it's about history, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. Each coin in your hand was minted in a specific year, in a specific place, and has passed through countless hands before yours. That 1982 penny might have been used to buy a pack of gum in the 80s, sat in a piggy bank for decades, and then traveled across the country in change. The idea that it could transform your life in a single moment is what keeps collectors searching day after day. The story of the 1982 D small date copper penny is a perfect reminder that treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or diamond necklaces. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, in the smallest and most ordinary places. So the next time you get change from a store, take a few seconds to look closely at each penny. You never know, you might just spot a tiny, unassuming coin that could change your life forever. In the end, the $8.4 million penny is more than just a rare piece of metal. It's a symbol of how opportunity can be hiding right in front of us, invisible to those who aren't paying attention. The people who find it aren't just lucky, they're prepared. So stay curious, stay observant, and who knows? The next person to cash in on this once-in-a-lifetime find could be you. Imagine this. You're digging through your spare change at the grocery store counter. Maybe you're counting coins for coffee or tossing pennies into a jar. You pick up a coppery Lincoln penny from 1980 and you're just about to drop it into the jar without a second thought. But then you remember a story you once heard. A story about a single coin from that year, a penny that, if it's the right one, could be worth more than $8.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny. 8.8 million. Enough to change your life in an instant. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? After all, pennies are the lowest value coin in the United States. Most of us don't even bother bending down to pick one up off the sidewalk. But in the world of rare coins and numismatics, the smallest piece of change can sometimes hold the biggest secrets, and the biggest payouts. Let's go back to the year 1980. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents, made mostly from copper at the time. They were common, ordinary, and literally everywhere. But in the middle of that massive production, something extraordinary happened. Somewhere inside one of the minting facilities, a mistake, or perhaps a unique variation, occurred that would turn a simple coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Now, here's where the mystery deepens. Coin experts believe that only a handful, possibly even just one, of these special 1980 Lincoln pennies exist. It's not a variety you can spot with a quick glance. This isn't about a slightly off-center strike or a doubled date that you can see without a magnifying glass. No, this is about a coin with a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical curiosity. The coin in question is believed to be struck from a unique planchet, a blank piece of metal intended for a different denomination, and minted with an error so subtle and so precise that it escaped detection when it was released into circulation. Over the decades, most of these coins were probably spent, lost, or melted down for their copper content. But a few may still be out there, hiding in pockets, change jars, and coffee shop tip jars, waiting to be discovered by someone lucky enough, and sharp-eyed enough, to notice. The story of this $8.8 million penny exploded in the coin-collecting world after a private sale between two wealthy collectors made headlines. One man had been quietly searching for rare pennies for over 30 years. He finally found this 1980 Lincoln cent, authenticated by one of the top grading companies in the country. When the news got out, it sparked a frenzy among treasure hunters, everyday people, and collectors alike. The idea that a single coin you could find in your change could be worth more than most houses in America lit up imaginations everywhere. Now, here's what makes this coin so fascinating. First, it's not just about the year, 1980. While most 1980 pennies are worth face value or just a bit more if they're in mint condition, this one is tied to a very specific minting anomaly. The details of that anomaly are closely guarded by the buyer and seller, partly to protect the value of the coin and partly to keep the hunt alive. What we do know is that the coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, something that's incredibly rare for a penny from over 4 decades ago. It also shows a distinctive feature on the reverse side that trained numismatists can identify, but that the casual eye might completely miss. So what should you be looking for? First, check the date, 1980. Then, inspect the mint mark under magnification. Look closely at the edges, the lettering, and Lincoln's profile. Any unusual doubling, crispness beyond normal mint strikes, or unexpected colorations in the metal could be a clue. Remember, most of the valuable coins aren't the ones that look like they've been through a war in someone's pocket for 40 years. They're the ones that somehow survived in near-perfect condition. There's a reason people call this the overnight millionaire penny. Imagine finding it in your old coin jar. Imagine walking into a coin shop, handing it to the owner, and watching his eyes widen as he realizes what you have. Imagine that next phone call, the one where you learn your penny is worth millions, that buyers are lined up and ready to pay life-changing money for a coin that cost you nothing more than a glance. It's the modern-day gold rush, except the gold is hiding in plain sight, disguised as the most common coin in America. And the best part? Anyone can play. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to travel halfway across the world. You don't even need to quit your day job. All you need is a little patience, a sharp eye, and the willingness to check your change every time you make a purchase. Stories like this are why the coin collecting community never stops searching. Over the years, there have been countless tales of rare finds: the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die, the 1974 aluminum cent. Each time one of these treasures turns up, it reminds us that history is still out there, circulating quietly among us, waiting for the right moment and the right person to bring it back into the light. That if you've got a jar of pennies at home, now is the time to go through them. Look at every single one. You never know, your lucky penny might already be in your possession. It might be sitting in that dusty coffee tin in the kitchen, in the change tray of your car, or even mixed in with the coins you got at the gas station yesterday. Remember, in the world of treasure hunting, luck favors the prepared. One moment you're just living your normal life, and the next you're holding $8.8 million in the palm of your hand. That's the magic of this story. That's the magic of the 1980 Lincoln penny. And somewhere out there, one of you watching this video might just be the next person to find it. So go ahead, start searching. Your future might be hiding in the smallest coin you own. Imagine this. You're digging through a jar of coins on your kitchen counter. It's late at night, maybe you're just looking for some loose change for a snack run or to pay for parking. Your fingers shuffle past the dull copper, the worn silver, maybe even a couple of nickels that have been sitting there since who knows when. But then, your eyes catch something. It's not shiny gold, not sparkling like a diamond, but there's something about it. A Lincoln penny. The year? 1974. You think nothing of it at first. After all, pennies are everywhere. They're worth just 1 cent, right? We've all had hundreds of them slip through our hands without a second thought. But here's the part that might just change your life. If you happen to be holding a certain 1974 Lincoln penny, one that most people overlook, you could be looking at a coin worth more than $7.8 million today. Yes, you heard me right. Not $7.80. Not 700. $7.8 million. Enough to buy your dream house, your dream car, and still have money left over to never work another day in your life. The crazy part? These coins are still out there. In pockets. In drawers. In coin jars just like yours. So, why is this little copper-colored coin so valuable? In 1974, the United States Mint was experimenting. Copper prices were rising, and the cost of making a penny was starting to get a little too close to the coin's own face value. They needed a cheaper alternative. So, they started making test pennies out of aluminum instead of copper. They produced over 1 million of these aluminum cents, but they were never officially released into circulation. Instead, most of them were destroyed before the public could ever see them. Most, but not all. A few slipped through the cracks. And when I say a few, I mean so few that coin collectors today consider them mythical treasures. Owning one is like owning a piece of American minting history, something so rare and so desirable that it sends collectors into bidding wars with prices that climb into the millions. One of these aluminum 1974 Lincoln cents was once valued at nearly $8 million, and experts believe there are still some out there hiding in plain sight. Now, you might be wondering, how would you even know if you have one of these miracle pennies? First, check the date. It has to say 1974. Next, the weight. A regular 1974 copper penny weighs about 3.1 grams. But the aluminum version? Just around 1 gram. Feather light. If you place it on your palm, you'll feel the difference instantly. It's almost like holding nothing at all. And of course, you'll want to be absolutely certain, because counterfeits exist and scammers are out there hoping to cash in on the hype. If you think you found one, never clean it, never scratch it, and never take it to just any pawn shop. You want to get it professionally authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's the only way you'll know for sure whether your penny is the real deal or just another regular cent. Think about it, millions of these coins were destroyed, but coins have a funny way of slipping past the rules. They end up in people's pockets, in piggy banks, in coffee cans in the attic. Some people inherit coin collections from relatives and never think twice about what's inside. And there could be that one coin, the one that changes everything, just waiting to be found. Let's say you do find one. Let's say you hold it in your hand, this tiny little sliver of history worth more than your house, your car, maybe your entire neighborhood combined. What then? Well, that's where things get really exciting. You could auction it. The last time a rare 1974 aluminum penny hit the market, it made headlines all across the country. Coin collectors flew in, bidding wars broke out, and the final hammer price was enough to make anyone's jaw drop. With a current estimated market value of $7.8 million, even after taxes, you'd be sitting on a fortune. And here's the wild part: you didn't have to dig for gold, you didn't have to win the lottery, you didn't have to invent the next big app. All you had to do was notice. All you had to do was look a little closer at the change in your hand. It's almost like a modern treasure hunt, except the treasure isn't buried under the sand or locked away in a pirate's chest. It's in circulation. Right now. That penny you got in change when you bought your morning coffee? That coin you've been meaning to toss into a Coinstar machine? It could be the ticket to life-changing wealth. And the best part is, anyone, literally anyone, could find it. You don't need to be a coin expert. You don't need a metal detector. You just need to know what to look for. So tonight, when you get home, I want you to dump out that jar of coins. Lay them out on the table. Look at each one carefully. Check the dates. Feel the weight. Because if you find that elusive 1974 aluminum penny, you're not just holding 1 cent, you're holding a story, a piece of history, and quite possibly a ticket to $7.8 million. And if you do find it, remember this moment, because it will be the night you went from ordinary to extraordinary in the blink of an eye, and who knows? Maybe the universe has been saving that lucky penny for you all along.